Ukraine Security Service, SBU, destroyed a Russian Su-30SM combat aircraft worth around $50 million in an attack on Saki Airfield in Russian-annexed Crimea Peninsula on the night leading to August 4. For more aircraft, 1 Su-30SM and 3 Su-24 aircraft were also hit during the attack on Saki Airfield that is a key Russian airbase for operations in the Black Sea. Su-30SM aircraft is estimated to cost between $35 million and $50 million. Russia's total losses from the attack may amount to hundreds of millions of dollars. The aviation weapons storage at the airfield was also hit during the attack, SBU reported. The security service stated that the attack was aimed at weakening Russia's ability to continue the war of invasion in Ukraine. The successful SBU special operation in Saky is another step toward weakening the enemy's ability to wage its war of aggression against Ukraine. The occupiers must remember that they will never feel safe on our land, the SBU said. It should be noted that Ukraine has scaled up drone attacks targeting air defense systems, radars, and ammunition depots in Crimea in an attempt to weaken Russia's military infrastructure in the peninsula that was illegally annexed by Moscow. Ukrainian intelligence launched a large-scale operation dubbed Spiderweb on Russian airfields on June 1, targeting over 40 aircraft on airfields deep in Russian territory.
The Ukrainian armed forces are currently trying to quickly form a group for another counter-offensive. This point of view was expressed by Russian military expert Vladislav Shurygin. According to him, soon Alexander Syrsky may receive at his disposal up to 8 fully equipped and combat-ready brigades with a total of up to 20,000 people. In addition to this, according to Shurygin, the enemy is quickly forming UAV units, which are the main striking force of the Ukrainian army. Indirectly, preparation for a counterattack is confirmed by the strict economy in manning the regular combat brigades holding the front, where the manning of battalions on the line of combat resistance has fallen 35 to 40%. Reserves are primarily sent to the next counter-offensive grouping, Shurygin points out. He adds that the Ukrainian armed forces are in dire need of another victory to end the 2025 campaign. According to him, Syrsky needs a success, similar to last year's adventure with the Kursk region, and the Ukrainian armed forces are ready for an offensive. The Observer also points to the connection between the upcoming counter-offensive and the sudden postponement of the Russian Federation's ultimatum, which US President Donald Trump shortened from 50 days to 10. Apparently, the commander of the U.S. Army in Europe and Africa, General Christopher Donahue, who was in charge of planning and commanding the Ukrainian armed forces, reported to Trump about Kyiv's readiness for an offensive and the undesirability of delaying it until the fall, when the weather could seriously interfere with the course of military operations. And Trump, in his usual manner, immediately changed his mind about giving Russia time to conclude a peace agreement with Ukraine. In fact, this offensive can rightfully be called Trump's offensive, the expert writes. In his opinion, if the offensive is at least partially successful, then, together with tough sanctions, this will become a significant lever of pressure on the Russian Federation. In this case, Moscow will face another prospect of prolonging the war in an unfavorable role for itself as the defending side. However, if the counter-offensive ends in the failure of the Ukrainian armed forces, Trump will be able to shift the responsibility to Donahue, who dragged himself into this adventure. In any case, August will be one of the hottest months of the 2025 campaign, and we will need to exert all our forces to counter American plans, and we definitely have a week to spare. Vladislav Shurygin sums up. Directed energy weapons, both laser and microwave type, are nearing practical deployment and are increasingly emerging as viable tools for countering drones and missiles. Oleksiy Yizak, an analyst at the National Institute for Strategic Studies, shared his view on Espresso TV. He said it could take a year or two before these technologies are put to use, and the leap in their development is linked to Ukraine's capacity for rare earth element extraction. Yizak explained that lasers, along with their optics and control systems, could work as shock weapons in combat. They can destroy drones made of wood, plastic, or aluminum alloy. These materials make drones cheap, but also weak and slow, a trade-off that lasers can exploit. The main problem with modern combat lasers used against drones is their extremely high installation cost compared to other options, the expert explains. But at the same time, the cost of firing a single beam is extremely low, less than $10, and that's enough to hit a drone. Yizak says that when used in combination with missiles, shells, and electronic warfare tools, lasers can significantly improve drone defense in the coming years. He also points to another promising type of directed energy weapon: microwave electromagnetic weapons. Unlike lasers, they don't destroy the drone's body, which is usually transparent to microwave pulses. This is what we can call lethal electronic warfare, the expert says. It doesn't matter how the drone is controlled. If the control system is electronic, it can be taken out. You don't need precise targeting, and it can hit an entire swarm of drones at once. Laser and microwave guns have already moved beyond the lab. They are now being tested at training grounds and have seen action in US and Israeli operations in the Middle East. Several systems are already in advanced research stages, close to being combat ready. The first combat laser system could be deployed at critical facilities within 1 or 2 years, predicts Oleksiy Yizak. However, using lasers widely in combat will require another major technological breakthrough. That leap may not happen right away, Yizak says, but it could come alongside the start of rare earth element extraction in Ukraine, without which combat lasers wouldn't be possible at all.